Exchange. Concept of a market. Markets. In its most abstract form, a market is defined as a way in which products produced are exchanged between producers and consumers of those products for certain prices. It is not necessary that markets be restricted to any geographical locations. Buying and selling can take place across vast distances and across nations. In reality, the economic system is a vast complex network of interrelated markets. The barter system. Before money was invented, buying and selling used to take place by exchanging goods and services directly. This is known as the barter system of exchange. Price system. When a price of a commodity is decided by the interaction of consumers and producers, each having the freedom to buy and sell as much as they like and each trying to get the best price for themselves. It is known as the operation of the price system in a capitalistic economy. Demand and its determinants. Apart from price being the single most important factor that will tell us how many people will buy that product, other non-price determinants are A. Tastes and preferences, B. Income level, C. Prices of other products which will also satisfy the same want of the consumer. Such goods are called substitute goods. That is, when the price of a commodity falls, more of it will be demanded by the consumer only if all other things like his income, taste, and prices of all other substitute goods remain the same. Algebraic representation. Representing price by P and quantity demanded by Q, the function is Q equal to F of P. The term F means is a function of P. Thus, quantity demands is a function of the price. Is a function of simply means that the quantity demanded depends upon the price. Supply. The determinants of supply. The supply of any commodity refers to the amount that is available on the market for the purposes of selling to the consumers. The amount produced in turn depends upon the availability of factors of production, their prices, and the technique of production. Thus, the determinants of supply are apart from the price of the product. 1. The technique of production, 2. Prices of resources, and 3. The number of sellers in the market. The shape of the supply curve. If costs rise with amount of the output produced, producers would be willing to supply more of the product only if they expect to get higher prices. If this were assumed to be true, then the general relationship between willingness to supply and price is to associate larger amounts of the product supplied with higher prices. We see that the supply curve goes upwards from left to right. That is, in the language of mathematics, we say that supply curve is positively sloped. Individual and market supply. Just as we derived the market demand curve, the market supply curve also be derived by adding up the quantities produced by the total number of sellers of that product at given price to arrive at the market supply curve. Algebraic representation, the supply function. Let Q's represent the quantity supplied of a commodity. The supply function represents the relationship between Q's and price of the commodity. Thus, Qs equal to F of P. Supply-demand interaction and the determination of market equilibrium price. The equilibrium price and quantity. We have seen that the demand schedule illustrates buyers' willingness to pay for different quantities of a product, and the supply schedule tells us how much the producers would be willing to sell at various prices. A mutually agreeable price at which a product can be exchanged between buyers and sellers would therefore require that the willingness to supply a certain amount of the product at that price is the same as the buyer's willingness to buy at that price. If not either, the amount bought will be less than the amount supplied. And producers are unusable to sell what they put on the market, or quantities supplied by producers falls short of the quantity demanded at that price, and the consumers remain unsatisfied. An equilibrium is defined as a state of rest where there is a balance of forces that counter each other.